I'm Victoria and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these beaded chokers. Before I actually get into how I'm making the necklaces, I just kind of wanted to explain why I'm making them. And it's because on October 7th, I'll be participating in a cycling event. It's Columbia University's Velocity Ride, and it's a huge fundraiser towards cancer research, specifically Columbia University's Cancer Research Center. I'll leave the link in the description box if you guys want to read more about it, but basically I chose to ride 25 miles, and in that I have to donate $500. And I decided to make these necklaces and sell them as a means of getting the $500. If you guys live in the New York, New Jersey area, I would really recommend that you guys sign up and participate in this event. You don't only have to do 25 miles, there's also a 10-mile option, and if you'd like to do more, there's 45 miles and 65 miles, I believe. If you guys are interested in helping out with the event but don't necessarily want to ride in it, there are a ton of volunteer opportunities. So again, I'll leave the link in the description box down below if you guys would like to check it out. You'll need scissors and a ruler, a pair of wire cutting pliers and bead crimping pliers, 2mm crimp beads, jump rings. Spring clasps I found are the best because barrel clasps tend to rust. 40 feet bright beading wire. This is the best because it's thin enough but not too flimsy. Seed beads. Any choice of centerpiece beads. I went with stones here, but you could choose anything you like. And accent beads, which will go on the side of the centerpiece. You'll first want to cut a piece of beading wire that is 1 inch over the circumference of your neck. So mine was 14 inches, so I'm just going to cut a piece that's 15 inches to give me room to add the fasteners on both ends. Now take a crimp bead and thread it through one end of the beading wire. Take the jump ring part of the spring clasp and thread it through the beading wire. Now take the end of the wire and thread it through the crimp bead. Loosely hold the crimp bead with one hand and use the other hand to pull on the tail end of the beading wire to fasten the loop. Use your bead crimping pliers to clamp the crimp bead. Now we're going to thread on the seed beads. The easiest way I found to do this is to leave the beads still on the strands in the package and just use your beading wire to thread it through the seed beads. This is much easier than cutting it all off the package and having to thread the seed beads on one by one. This can be the most time-consuming part because the beading wire will come out of the already made strands, so just keep threading it through if it does pop out. Here I'm using a necklace that I already made as a point of reference to see how much more seed beads I needed, but since you guys might be making your first ones, I would just estimate a little less than halfway so you could have room for the centerpiece beads and still have room for the other half of the seed beads. After you're finished with your first half of your seed beads, you're just going to want to go to the center of the package where they're all tied together and cut the string that you started threading the beading wire through. Now go back to the last seed bead you threaded through and pull out the package beads. This will transfer all of the seed beads from the package to your beading wire. Now thread on your first accent bead, your centerpiece beads, and the last accent bead. Repeat the process of threading the beading wire through the strung beads to finish the other end of the seed beads. Remember to leave about an inch of the tail end of the beading wire free from seed beads. Now thread on one more crimp bead and your jump ring, and thread the tail end of the beading wire through the crimp bead and 2 of the seed beads. To tighten the beading wire, use your bead crimping pliers to hold on to the end of the wire that has the bead strung onto them and pull that through while holding onto the tail end of the beading wire. Pull it through until it's all tightened and there is no space between any of the seed beads. Now clamp the end of the crimp bead and use wire cutting pliers to cut the loose strand of beading wire. And you're finished. And that's it for today's video. So if you guys liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and maybe share this with a crafty friend who would want to make these. And again, I'll have the link to the Velocity Ride event in the description box if you guys just want to read more about it. Also, check out my other videos. I have a mukbang right here and a thrift with me right here.